Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Fyreslayers and how we can start an army of them using the brand new box set, the Regiment of Renown Fjori's Flamebearers. Now, I know that you can't use this box set to play the Regiment of Renown within a Fyreslayers force, but that doesn't stop you being able to use all the models that come inside this box set as a bunch of Fyreslayer models to start an army of said Fyreslayers. Now, we're going to go through the contents of this box set, talk a little bit about all the units that come inside it, what they do on the tabletop, and indeed the options we have when building some of these different units, and then take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon the initial purchase. We'll then, at the end of the video, finish off with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Fyreslayers force using the Fjori's Flamebearers box set. And so, to begin with, first of all, this box set is led by a Grimhold Exile. The Grimhold Exile has 6 wounds and a 4+ save, and is the brand new character that comes in this Regiment of Renown box set, released alongside the Dawnbringers Book 1. Now he has his Fire Rune Hammers, which are 5 attacks at 3s and 3s, Rend 2, Damage 2, and he's got a few cool abilities. Last of the Lodge Fire allows him to do some serious mortal wound damage to a large enemy unit. Once per battle, when you pick this unit to fight, instead of piling in and attacking, you can say it will release the last of its Lodge Fire. And if you do so, you pick one enemy unit within an inch and roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic of that enemy unit, and for each 4+, the enemy unit will suffer a mortal wound. Honor to Grimir means once per battle in your hero phase, this unit can raise its battle cry, and if it does so, friendly Fyreslayers units that do not have a mount and are wholly within 6 inches of this unit when it raises said battle cry are inspired, and inspired units can run and still charge later in the turn. Lastly, Living Legacy means while this unit's within 3 inch of any other friendly unit that has 3 or more models, it'll have a ward of Fire Plus, which is really nice. Now, joining this model, we then have the Volkite Berserkers. These are a standard battle line unit option, and there are 2 different War Scroll profiles for them, in the Volkite Berserkers with bladed sling shields, or Volkite Berserkers with Fire Steel hand axes. Now, the Fire Steel hand axes are 10 points more expensive. They've got 2 wounds each and a 5+ save, and they've got 2 attacks at 3s and 3s, no rend and damage 1 in melee, along with a short range throwing axe profile as well. Now, the big thing here is their Whirlwind Destruction. They get +1 to their attacks if they make a charge move in the same turn, and Berserk Fury means once per battle at the start of the combat phase, you can say you're going to make the unit use its Berserk Fury, and if you do so until the end of that phase, these models can fight before they are removed from play. Now, the other option we have is the Volkite Berserkers with bladed sling shields, and they can take either war picks or war axes as their main weapon. The war picks will wound on a 4+, but will get a point of rend in there. Now, they have the bladed sling shield rule instead of the +1 attack when they charge, so after this unit makes a charge move, you can pick an enemy unit within an inch and roll a dice for each model in this unit, and for each 6, the enemy unit will suffer a mortal wound. Lastly, within this box set, we have 10 of the Hearthguard Berserkers, or Auric Hearthguard. This is a dual kit for the models. Now, there are 2 very different units, and they both can become battle line in different sort of ways you can build your force. Hearthguard Berserkers are a dedicated elite close combat unit with 2 wounds each and a 5+ save. They've got the option for either their Berserker Broadaxe, which has some rend and damage 2, or the Flamestrike Poleaxe, which has the ability to do a decent amount of mortal wounds in addition to the regular damage when you roll some 6s to hit. On top of that, duty unto death means the unit will have a ward of 4+, whether wholly within 9 inch of any friendly Fyreslayer heroes. The other option, Auric Hearthguard, who provides you with a shooting unit with 2 attacks at an 18-inch range, 4s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1, and the Molten Rock Bolts ability they have will allow you to potentially affect your opponent's move characteristic throughout the course of the battle. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, if we start to look at where to go next for the force, we have a bunch of different good characters for the Fyreslayers. In fact, Fyreslayers have a ton of different character models. And so, the first of these that I really like is the Auric Rune Master. The big thing here is this model will know all the prayers from the Zagrim Blessings prayer scripture, in addition to any other prayers it knows, meaning you can pick like one of the generic prayers like Curse or Bless or Guidance. And then you've got Wise Council as well, where at the start of your hero phase, if this general is within 3 inches of any friendly Auric Runemasters, which would include themselves, you can receive an extra command point. And Volcano's Call is their own prayer on their war scroll, and this does some mortal wounds if your opponent is near any terrain features. The other option we have for a priest is the Auric Rune Smiter, and this model does come inside the Magmadroth kit, so you would have to grab a Magmadroth in order to grab this model. But the big thing here is the Magmic Tunneling, where this model can choose to bring some units on from reserve, start the game off the table, and bring them on from a board edge. Another character I think is particularly nice, especially with the large amount of infantry we've got in the force, is the Auric Flamekeeper. The Master Flame rune, when this unit is set up, you need to place a d6 beside the model, with it starting on 1. Each time a friendly Fyreslayer model is slain within 12 inches, you increase the dice score next to this model, and once per turn you can unleash it if the value of the dice beside it is 6. This will allow you to give some different benefits to Fyreslayer units around you, such as a ward of 6+. You can also give the ability, if this model is slain and the model has not yet fought, to fight before they're removed from play. Grimnir's Resolve means you could give them the ability, if a unit is within 12 inches of an enemy unit and not within 3 inches of any enemy units, and they has not ran or retreated in the same turn, they can immediately attempt to charge, or you can just give them +1 damage, which is pretty solid. Lastly, we've talked about the priests, so we do have the Magmic Invocations, which are really fun because they are not as easy to get rid of as some of the endless spells can be in the current season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And we've got a variety of them. The Immortal Inferno has the Burning Tide, where the invocation is set up and can immediately move 2d6, and Erupting Inferno, after this invocation is moved, the commanding player rolls 12 dice for each unit within 3 inches, and for each 6 they'll suffer a mortal wound. If the roll to determine how far this invocation moved was a double, though, however, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds for each 6 instead of a 1, which is pretty cool. Now we do have a couple of others. The Runic Firewall allows us to have the Roaring Fire rune, where models cannot move across this potentially, unless they have the Magmadroth or Fly keyword. And Awakened Runes means at the start of each phase, the commanding player can pick one friendly Fyreslayers unit within 12 inch, and if they do so, commanding player rolls a dice. On a 1 to 5, that unit has a ward of 6+. On a 6, they have a ward of 4+. Lastly, we have the Zargon Flame Spitter. This has the Magma Blast ability, which does some mortal wounds and is generally better against the larger sized opposing units. And so here we have our sample army list for the Fyreslayers. Now we've gone for a Vostag Lodge as our lodge of choice here. What this does is we add one to the hit and wound rolls for any melee weapon attacks made by Vostag Volkite Berserker units when they make a charge move in the same turn. I really do like this when you've got some Volkite Berserkers, and it really does up the damage potential of said units. Now, our grand strategy is going to be defend the lodge. We effectively have to keep our opponent out of our territory. In the current season, there is a lot of smaller territories, so this is a much easier one to do. For leader-wise, though, we have all 3 slots filled out with the Grimhold Exile and Auric Runemaster, who will be our general, with the Master Priest command trait. What this potential command trait is going to do for us is once per battle at the start of the hero phase, if your general's on the battlefield, we can activate an Urgu roll that has already been activated for the force instead of one we haven't activated, so we can double up on the use of a single gold rune. And then we've got the artifact of Ash Cloud, which allows us to potentially once per game have some protection against magic. Like I said when talking about this model in the video as well, we're able to pick a generic prayer, in this case Curse, to potentially get some mortal wound damage out of our units, and we're still going to get all the other prayers from the Fyreslayers lore. The Auric Flamekeeper will be in there, and because in the current season we are going to get a Nullstone Adornment, we've got the handcrafted Nullstone icon, which gives us the ability to dispel and can potentially keep dispelling so long as we succeed. Battleline wise, we have 2 units of Volkite Berserkers. We've got 1 of each loadout, and I have gone for the War Picks with the Bladed Sling Shields for a little bit of rend in the force, and then we have the Auric Hearthguard in there as well. Next, we have the Hearthguard Berserkers with the Flamestruck Poleaxes, and we've also got the Molten Infernoth in there as an invocation, with the entire force wrapped up in a battle regiment to make a 1-drop force with a perfect 1000 points, so there's no triumph in the force. But if you've got some ideas on how to start off with this particular box set of Fyreslayers, and indeed what you would grab instead of maybe some of the units we've suggested here, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description, and also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from our Teespring store as well. All of those are linked down in the video's description, and a special thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. We'd like to give you all a shout out, so thank you to our YouTube members John Castle, Disco, James Tillman, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Ariana Edwards, Broken Chef, the Johnny84, Lock Lorick, Ronya, Green Roots Gaming, and our patrons Wasaren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.